Hi everyone, July has flown by and we finished some pretty big games this month, so let's go over all the games I played in July. Unfortunately, I was also doing a lot of overtime at work this month, so we didn't get to finish a lot of games. A lot of the games we were playing were also longer games, but we did get through a couple. So the first one was back into the Resident Evil series with Resident Evil 5. We played the PS4/PS5 version, and we played all the DLCs as well. However, I'm not ranking the DLCs separately because each of them were like an hour long. So Resident Evil 5, I know, is a bit of a divisive one in the series. Some people really love it, some people really hate it. For me, it's pretty much dead in the middle. This is a 5 out of 10 for me. I feel like story-wise, it was honestly fine, and it does feel like a very natural progression and step up from Resident Evil 4, gameplay-wise, mechanic-wise, just everything. It truly does feel like Resident Evil 4 on steroids, which is kind of a good thing, it's kind of a bad thing. The gameplay itself, again, is fine. It's a decent action game. The controls were what really set me back the most. It does feel really clunky. It does feel similar to the Resident Evil 4 original, so it could just be the fact that it's been so long since I've played that one, and having played the remake a couple times afterwards that it was harder to go back to, but it just felt really clunky for me to get used to. Sheva, your AI partner, is really helpful at times, and then other times she's just not. She's getting in your way a lot. The Wesker fights were really hard. The couple end boss fights were kind of difficult, not necessarily even difficulty-wise. I just was not really sure what to do a lot of the time. And there was another boss fight in this that I found out is quite literally bugged with the PS4/5 version, and the only way you can get through it is with the rocket launcher, which is really interesting. The DLCs were also fine. I like that they went into a little bit of what happened before the game and during the game, so it gives you a little bit more lore and context of what was going on after the events of 3 and before 5 while Leon was wandering around in Spain. It just takes away a lot of the elements from Resident Evil that I personally enjoy, so it's not my favorite, but I think it's fine. Next is Bayonetta 3. Now this one, we were going in completely blind. The reason I started with 3 is because it's the one that's easiest to get a hold of physically on consoles currently, but I'd never played any of the other Bayonetta games. I've never watched gameplay of the Bayonetta games. Literally, I just saw that it was available on the Switch. I actually thought it was a Switch exclusive at the time, which is why I bought it. So I had no idea what even style of game this was going into it. And let's just say I was very pleasantly surprised. This is a 9 out of 10 game for me. I had such a fun time. It's a hack and slash game, which I'm finding out more and more that I might be a fan of the more I play games in that genre. It's also kind of similar to Mortal Kombat in that 90% of the game is just watching cutscenes, and then you do your little fights in between and you get to occasionally run around in areas. But all things considered, it's very linear, which that is not a complaint, I love. But the combat is just really fun. We played on easy because I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, and I never used a single healing item in the entire game. It's literally just spam buttons until things die, and I like to call this game ADHD in a video game because there's just so much happening on screen all the time, so many shapes and colors. It's so overstimulating for the eyes, but it's really entertaining. And also having no idea about the story and the characters, so I didn't know who anyone was and what was going on. But even then, it managed to keep me pretty intrigued, and it's just such a goofy game. This bitch, whack. Spoiler alert for the end of the game. There were like 4 separate end credit sequences. It kept faking you out that the game was done, and then the last 2 end credit sequences just ended in the entire cast of characters from the game having a dance battle, basically. It was very fun. The only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is because it did have some performance issues. Gameplay-wise, it was fine, but a lot of the cutscenes would go really blurry and really pixely, and I found out apparently that is a problem with the Switch version specifically, but that's the only thing bringing it down for me. And next was The Thing on PS2. It just had a remaster come out fairly recently, which I did purchase and we are playing at the moment, but I wanted to go ahead and play the PS2 original first so that I could compare a little bit more and understand more of the improvements that they did with the remaster. Now this one we actually didn't finish. I'm still including it on the rankings. I think I got a pretty good idea at the game. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10, just splitting it down the middle. I think for a PS2 game, it is very ahead of its time. A lot of the mechanics and the features with your team and just the gameplay in general are really, really cool. It's awesome seeing all the Easter eggs and callbacks to the movie as well. I'm a fan of the movie, so that was pretty nice. I just found it really, really difficult. I think I picked, it was either easy or normal, it wasn't hard. And we ended up getting about halfway through chapter 4 and I decided to call it quits on the game and start the remaster because we just got to a fight where I was going in with so little health. It didn't matter what I did, I could not get past it. We spent probably about an hour and a half in one single fight. I died almost 30 times in one single fight, and we just decided it wasn't possible. It is very difficult. The AI is kind of stupid, and you don't get a lot of resources at all. Overall though, game itself, very fun, very cool. I can already say we're playing the remaster at the moment, and it is phenomenally such a big improvement, and I'm gonna probably be highly recommending that one. So as an original, it's cool to see where it came from. I'm glad I gave it a shot before the remaster, but I think this is gonna be one of those situations where the remaster just completely outshadows it. And that is going to be all from me for now. Hopefully in August we can get back to a little bit more of a regular schedule and get some more games in our tool belt as well, so stick around to see what we play next.